In 2019, there was a massive gun rush. Millions of people who did not own guns prior to 2019 became new gun owners. That's great news. But a particular phenomenon happened with one gun during that time, and it is still affecting us today, 4 years later. And ultimately what I'm talking about is most people that were new gun owners that went out and bought a gun sought advice from friends, family, that sort of thing. Most people that got advice were told to buy a Glock. For whatever reason, they were just told that you need to buy a Glock. So they went out without even doing the research, without doing any sort of testing. They just went out and took the advice of their loved ones and they bought a Glock. Then they took it home and there was many aspects of that handgun that they decided they did not like. For a new gun owner, one piece of this is that they don't understand the concept of a single action, double action, manual safety, trigger safety, that sort of thing. And a Glock pistol does not have a manual safety. It does have a trigger safety, but it's striker fired. So they might argue that it's double action, but it is definitely a single action in trigger. Let's put it that way. So a lot of people, they kind of panicked and they thought, well, wait a second, I don't want this gun. I want something that's a little safer, something I feel more comfortable using. And there was this massive trade of the Glock pistol, massive trade. Well, that continues. So what's going on with the Glock pistol? Well, ultimately what you have is it's the most popular handgun in the world. So you have a high population of people that are out seeking the Glock pistol, used, new, whatever they can find. When they see it in the gun store, they're interested. So you have this massive inventory of Glock pistols as well. One, Glock's making a ton of guns because they sell a ton of guns. But in addition to that, there's this massive used inventory of Glock pistols that's just flipping like crazy. Anytime one comes in a store, it goes right out. So ultimately you have this strange phenomenon where you have hundreds of thousands of people who are returning their Glock pistols because they didn't like one aspect or two aspects of it when they went out and bought a new handgun and decided they wanted something different once they did the research and actually got that gun in their hands. So you have hundreds of thousands of people returning Glock pistols or trading them for something else. And then you have hundreds of thousands of people eager to get a hold of a Glock. So there's this weird phenomenon where the highest level of inventory, for the most part, when it comes to handguns, especially used handguns, is going to be Glock pistols. But the highest demand of handguns, especially used handguns, again, is Glock pistols. So it's this weird phenomenon that we don't typically see in really any trade or in any inventory of product. Is there's this high degree of wanting to purchase it while there's a high degree of people wanting to return it. So Glock pistol still remains by far the most traded gun in America right now. And ultimately what you're dealing with is you got a ton of people returning them, you got a ton of people wanting to buy them. So as a result, it's highly, highly traded, unlike any gun in America right now. Any thoughts or insight on that? Definitely put that below. Would like to take a moment and say, please consider and be a patron to this channel. It greatly increases our ability to get this message out as YouTube continues to suppress it. That link is below. But the most important part of this channel, we take prayer requests. Never, ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.